Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where you rejoin me in London having driven back with the BMW M8, its first adventure, its first major road trip and of course its first time here in the UK, which is quite fun to drive with the German plates on it. Now today we need a garage update of what's next, to talk about the cars on the horizon, to talk as well about what is leaving. Now I gave some hints in the video before about the Supra, but today we're going to take the Heritage RS for a drive up to McLaren Manchester to go and sign off my 675 LT Spider now that the work has been completed. That will be returning quite soon. Then we'll come back down to the storage to go and see the Shmeemobiles and to talk about some of the cars coming in the future, which orders are sticking, when things are going to be arriving. There are a few updates for you guys today about the Shmeemobiles. Since getting back to London, I have had to start doing some shuffling of my parking spaces. Things are going to need to move around a little bit. For the moment, the M8 is parked here because sadly, I no longer have the space right down at the very end. The ownership has changed and I've had to rent a different one for the moment. But the M8, being quite a large car, is fairly narrow in this space. Also, being left-hand drive, getting it this close to the pillar is a little bit awkward. Now, driving in London with German plates is very fun. Obviously, I've had enough experience with the Ford GT and with the SLS Black Series, which are both left-hand drive over here as well, and this car actually has the surround cameras with a fantastic 3D view that makes getting it that close a little bit easier. We're going to be leaving the M8 for the moment though. Today I'm going to take out the Heritage RS, which I last drove before I properly left London a couple of months ago, so I'm going to be taking this car today, stretching the legs. I think everything's going to be fine. It should fire into life straight away, having given it a quick start when I was last here. The only problem is that it is a little bit dusty from having been in the garage with the ventilation and circulation and so forth down here, but it'd be good to take this out. This car is one that I see as a permanent car alongside the Ford GT. The story, the history, it all comes together, and I really like having the hatchback, the last of the Focus RSs, one of only 50 cars. Really, really special thing alongside the GT. So we'll take this then, get on the road, go up to McLaren Manchester, get the 675 LT signed off, then we will come back to the storage to talk about the future. This space is also not exactly huge. The car unlocks, and let's see if I can manage to squeeze in holding a camera. This is not exactly the easiest thing in the world to do, and this is one of the more narrow cars that I've managed on board, so let's bring it into life. Good news, we've got just shy of 5,000 miles. That'll go over 5,000 miles today as we take it on up. It seems while I've been away that there have been quite a few speed limit changes and new cycle lanes and things installed in London. So as we go out, this used to be a 40 and it is now a 30, which is significantly less fun because it's a 3-lane kind of flowing road out of the city. Anyway, the front windscreen is very dusty. I'm going to give this a clean for the first time, and I think we are going to end up, yeah, look at that, ugh, filthy. That is basically why I keep cars under car covers most of the time, because if you don't drive them for a while, when you do then take them out, they pretty much already need a car wash. Now, I don't want to bore you too much with the journey today in the RS. We will get to McLaren Manchester through our average speed check zones and go see the LT. I've hopped into the passenger seat and look what we've got coming past. A satin green 812 Superfast, and the number plate almost to match as well. Just hiding behind the van at the moment. We can't see it at all. There it is. 812, one of the best cars out there. And yes, kind of super fast on the number plate. That's an unusual spec. There's also a stripe over the top of it. Cool. We are about to arrive, and you might be wondering, why have I come all the way back up again to have a look at the car? And because it's had quite a lot of things done to it, and you might remember a few things needed to be rectified. Basically, I'm coming up to sign it all off, to do with the paintwork, before it will then go back down to Topaz to have paint protection film installed before I can actually drive it. But I wanted to come up and see the car, just to get this, just to make sure everything is entirely right, given how long it's been, and obviously in advance of a trip that I am planning or thinking about with the car in the not too distant future. So we're only a couple of minutes away. I'm actually quite excited to see the car again. It is like a weird feeling of it almost being a new car, just because I haven't really taken it anywhere or done anything with it for quite a long time, which is odd, but very much on theme with today's topic and what we're getting up to. So we are here at the Bentley Manchester showroom. The McLaren Manchester workshop is around towards the back, where I think, well, I doubt the car's going to be out here at the front though, so we'll head round. Oh, hello. there are some nice things to take a look at in a moment. And then we'll go and go take a look. A second ago, there was a Bugatti Chiron and a Bugatti Veyron behind me. They're about to open the Bugatti showroom as well, but we've parked up. That's a pretty striking magenta Continental GT, but let's head straight on in and go through to go see how the LT is. And back then, we have the Orion Purple 675 LT Spider looking fantastic. In fact, purple and orange are always a great combination. This is looking immaculate. Fair play to the guys here. They have done a wonderful job of making sure it is in perfect condition. It's had its 4th annual service. Obviously things like the wheels as well touched up, the aircon regassed, the MOT test done, everything to make sure this car is absolutely spot on. You may remember that the main thing that my 675 LT Spider came back for was to have some paintwork done, because unfortunately it fell victim to some oxidation that was found on the front wing panels and also on the bonnet. Well, the very kind guys here replaced the bonnet as well. It now has a new carbon fibre bonnet piece, which is looking spectacular. Love as much exposed carbon as you can have, particularly as you can see it there for the whole of the piece. Obviously various parts have had to be painted, but the job is now absolutely spot on, a perfect match, which with this paint colour, which was an MSO one-off, remember my MSO Orion Purple, with the blue flake, the blue sparkles inside it, a very difficult and challenging colour to match, but now has turned out and resulted in the perfect finish, which is exactly what we wanted. So that's all been done. The wheels have also been kind of fully reconditioned, made to look good again. They had a few scratches and things going on, all a little bit crazy. New centre caps as well, just to tidy those up too. And then inside, just have a quick look here. This basically feels like a new car. It's in perfect shape. Got all the carbon fibre for the door cards, the rear deck. This is looking very, very nice. I cannot wait to drive it again, to get this properly out on the roads. It's going to be really good fun. I mean, it's an incredible car. So we'll need to go down to Topaz, because some of these panels, having been painted, are without PPF at the moment, the new carbon bonnet and the wings as well, and I think the doors, due to the nature of the paint process, so those need to be touched up. That will all be done, and then we will see it again ready for a proper outing. A few hours later, we're on the way back into London. We've actually got a G63 that's just coming past with a Russian plate on it as well. Very cool. I'm looking forward actually to my upcoming trip in my G-Wagon. Anyway, I do still have quite a few things to talk about, including the Shmeemobiles, what's coming, what's going, and the Shmuseum. We need some updates about Shmuseum topics and future car storage and plans in that respect as well. So not too far to go now, and then we can crack on with that. And back in the storage with the Shmeemobiles, and in a moment I will get the Lusso fired up. I'll be driving that back on home afterwards, and then trying to park it into the spot that came out of earlier on. Let's see how that goes, but for the time being, you might remember that before I went to Germany 2 months ago or so, I transformed the G-Wagon into a very large storage box. The back of this car is completely filled with stuff that will find its way into the Shmuseum in future. But let's have a quick look back here, where basically there are car parts, there are items for the garage, there's the go-karts, car covers, all sorts of storage things, which obviously in order to take this car on an adventure coming up, it needs to be emptied out. So I'm going to do the best job I possibly can to take things out of there, to put some in here, and almost use the other Shmeemobiles as temporary storage facilities. This makes no sense, and in the future when I have a garage it will be much easier. So the first thing I need to do is fire up the G, pull it forwards so that I can lift things out of the back of that, put them in there and get swapping stuff around. The first thing, I actually need to unplug the trickle charger, which I haven't done since I plugged it in for the first time a while ago. So let me find the bonnet release. Everything about this car, the noises, the clunks, the sounds, it's all fantastic. Then in here, there we go. Need to remember how to do all of this. We have the quick connector, so this is really easy to do. For the minute, I can leave everything else because I'm going to put it back on charge. Get that out of the way, which I don't want to run over. Close this back down. And things are going to get noisy. The Krapovich exhaust, of course, on this car. So, give me 1 minute, and we'll fire it into life the noisy way. That wasn't too painful. Most things are moved over, everything is now stored away, but I have just realized a small change of plans. I'm gonna take the G63 home because tomorrow morning it is booked for a service. I'd forgotten that. It's annual service. It's done about 8,000 miles. It needs to go in to have that done. And obviously that needs to be done before the next big adventure with the car. So the Lusso is actually gonna be staying put here after all. For the moment, I'm just going to park up the Heritage though. I've just done a complete swap around of all of the trickle chargers. There's one behind the cars that I think is a bit suspicious, which is the one back there. So to make sure everything is connected, using only so many plugs at the back, I've had to effectively swap everything from left to right, going through them all and then making sure that they are all still plugged in because we do not want any more flat batteries. But I think all should be good on that front. What we need to talk about though are the next Shmeemobiles, and first up is the Amg GTR Roadster. When I was over in Germany with the SLS and with the GTR Pro, we talked a bit about this. The car is right on the horizon. There is one question we have about the specification of it. Remember, I did some really customized stuff, so hopefully we're going to be seeing that soon, and I'll be able to share it with you. I'll give you more news as soon as I've got it. The car's a little bit further on the horizon that we talk about often, the Shelby Gt500. Now, the biggest thing about this is it's a car due for delivery in the USA. At the moment, it is impossible for somebody like me to even travel to the USA, so it is delayed. We'll have to wait and see. I've put it on pause. Let's just hold this space until we find out more, but ultimately I would love the GT500 to join the Heritage RS and the Ford GT effectively as part of my permanent car collection, and they will of course be super rare over here because there aren't any officially actually delivered in the UK. The next car is the Tvr Griffith. We did actually get some news, a mail shot from TVR the other day saying that they're now pushing forward with plans for the new factory. So this is exciting. More news hopefully in the not too distant future, but for the moment we've just got to wait and see. The next will be, hopefully, fingers crossed in every possible way, an Amg Gt Black Series. Everybody has been asking me, will a GT Black Series be joining the garage? I certainly hope so, but at this moment in time, UK allocations have not been done. It is impossible for anybody here other than AMG 1 owners who get priority and who get guaranteed build slots. It's impossible for anybody else to know until we find out the allocation details, hopefully in the not too distant future. Of course, I will let you know as and when I have any news on that front. Now, in terms of the current cars, everything you see here is going to be staying. Yeah. Reading down the lines, just making sure I said that correctly. The Supra has gone for sale, as I discussed before, and I'm thinking, should something else leave the garage? Because there is a Shmuseum opportunity, and I have looked at a few different units, but some things that need some money put behind them, to be completely honest about it, which means, unfortunately, I might need to say farewell to a car or so, and I'm not pointing at anything in particular while I talk about this, but I would love to move my cars from here to their own space, so I don't need to worry about trickle chargers, so I don't need to worry about items and things that are being stored in the back of them. Somewhere where I can come down, all of the cars will be beautifully presented, not just like this in a storage facility, one beside the other, but a way of having the memorabilia around them. And I've talked about this so much, but I really, really want to get it done. I've been looking at barns, industrial units, warehouses, all sorts of things, perhaps a little bit towards the west of London. It's obviously very expensive, it's a big commitment, and I want to make sure that I get absolutely the right unit when I commit to doing it. It's going to be a long-term thing after all. So that means, well, I need to think a little bit about what could happen with cars in the garage. The Red RS, for example, I've had it for 2 and a bit years. It's been great fun, don't get me wrong, but maybe that could move on. I don't know. I'm thinking backwards and forwards. I want to keep the Heritage, as I've said today. Obviously, I want to keep the Senna, the GT8. I'm using the G63 an awful lot. The GTR Pro, well, I've enjoyed it so much over at the Nürburgring, but maybe if I'm lucky to get the GT Black Series and with the GTR Roadster, I don't know. I need to think about this all a lot more. For the time being though, I guess that's a bit of an update as to how things are going at the moment. I'm glad all of the cars seem to be alive for now, but I'm going to hop on board the G63, take it on home. That needs to get a service, and then very soon after, the 2 cerulean blue cars are going to be departing on an adventure. For today though, great to see the LT back. I hope that's a bit of an update about the cars coming in the future and what might be leaving, but I will see you guys again very soon. Thank you for the support as always, and I'll catch you later. Cheers! I'm going to have to use his roof. Oh well. Just about managed. This is going to be some limbo as well. Okay. It works, but it's not ideal. I'm definitely going to have to look into different parking options because I can't be doing that too often. There we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.